Hello, Griffin.
Hello, my good friend Phil Kohler.
We're on camera.
I hate it. I don't know why you made me do this.
Because it's going to be exciting for people. They want to see you. They want to see.
Yeah,
I've
sure.
seen the YouTube comments. They're always requesting. They call you a soft boy.
Yeah, that's true. Very soft. And
What does
we're
that
very
mean?
excited
What is
to
that?
announce our new Hearthstone card here live on air. It's this, Phil. I don't know if you can see this. It's Chops.
Okay.
This is actually an Animal Crossing card. I got it in the mail
You lied.
to add them to my village.
You lied to everyone.
It's a 2 mana, 2 attack, 2 mana card with 18 health, and you get new furniture.
That seems
when you play it.
overpowered. In
A
my
little
opinion. We do have a brand new Hearthstone card to announce, which I'm really excited for. We are going to be taking a look at that in just a second. Before we do, I just kind of want to set the table for what we're talking about here, which is this new expansion, Mean Streets of Gadgetzan. This got announced at BlizzCon, and it's a pretty cool, like, thematically it's cool because it's just like weird gangster film noir stuff.
It's pretty goofy. Like even for Hearthstone, there's some goofy shit happening.
Yeah, but they're doing something really cool mechanically as well, which is there are these 3 different gangs in the Mean Streets of Gadgetzan, and those gangs are the Grimy Goons, the Cabal, and the Jade Lotus. And the idea
The
is that
Grimy Goons feels like hateful in a way.
well, that's
Like the
not
other ones
true.
have like cool names, and they're like, we're slime boys.
I kind of like them the most. Is that bad?
No, it makes sense. It's very on brand.
Okay. I'm just making sure. So the cool thing about these 3 gangs, though, is that they're affiliated. Each of them are affiliated with 3 of the 9 classes in Hearthstone, and because of that, they have this new thing called tri-class cards, which are cards. Previously we've had class cards, which only one of a single class can summon, and neutral cards, which anyone can summon. Now there are these tri-class cards that one of 3 different classes can summon. So
the breakdowns, what? Rogue,
So
warrior,
it's
hunter.
Grimy Goons are Hunter, Paladin, Warrior.
Okay, right.
The Cabal are Mage, Priest, Warlock, kind of these spellcasters.
Sure.
And the Jade Lotus are Druid, Rogue, and Shaman.
Okay, I see all that. That makes sense.
It kind of makes sense. We have this week. Blizzard is kind of devoting it to revealing Jade Lotus cards. They've already revealed a lot of Cabal cards and a lot of Grimy Goons cards. They've not revealed any.
A lot of those cards have had an effect where it summons a Jade Golem.
Yeah, so we'll get to that. Ours does not have that.
Okay, good, because they done like you can't have like a bunch of cards and be like, and then you get this thing. What's the thing? Tell me what the thing is.
We'll talk about that, but we do have a Shaman card.
Ooh,
And it's a Shaman card I think people are going to be excited about.
So our last one was Confusion, which was a Priest card.
It was Confuse, yeah, and it was it flipped the health and attack of every minion on board. That is a card that never got played by anyone.
I also want to point out, I have no idea I don't know what this card is.
You actually don't know. I have not told you. I know, obviously. Let's do it. This is our card. Devolve.
Oh, man! That is so choice. What a treat! And that's
good?
not a bad card.
It's really good. So here's the thing. They actually told me, I was talking to some of the Hearthstone development team at BlizzCon. They showed me the card a little bit early because they were like, all right, you're going to do the reveal. We'll let you see it. What they told me was initially this card cost 1, and they realized it was way too powerful as a 1-cost card because this is basically the silence card that priests have that silences everyone, but better.
Way better. Holy shit, so much better.
One of the biggest things with this expansion is you're getting all these cards that are buffs, right? Like you're getting, like, the Grimy Goons are all about buffing up everything, and the Jade Golem is a thing that you'll see is getting buffed as well. This card gets rid of all those buffs and makes the things theoretically weaker. I mean, at least they're 1 cost less, maybe not necessarily weaker. It's really
blown
good.
away by this. So like, you play this on. I'm trying to think because like at first blush it seems really really useful, but ultimately like you're leaving the stuff on the board.
You are leaving it on
there's
the board.
always a chance. There's always a chance that you devolve it into something dope.
Yep.
that's just wild. And it's also, it seems like pretty good tempo. Like after a certain point in the game.
It's again, like I think it's just at the very least, at the absolute minimum, it's good board control for these cards that are so heavily based around buffing. It's sort of like it's protection if these Grimy Goon decks that are all about buffing become really popular.
Right. So
this is
so
your,
the Grimy
your
Goon, the
way
Grimy
of
Goon
holding
cards are like give +1/+1 to another minion in your hand.
Yeah.
And you play enough of those until you have like a crazy 5/5 2-cost card, and you drop that, and then all of a sudden now devolve, lose the buff, and now it's a 1-cost minion.
Yep.
That's sick, man. That's great.
It's really cool. I'm really into it. I did want to, so we're going to spend the rest of the video just going over some of the other cards that have been released since we haven't had a chance to talk about them much. Griffin, I know you're not going to be with us when the expansion comes out, so I want to get your reaction on some of this stuff. So you won't be there.
I'm having a baby in December, so I'm taking a leave. I'm not dying for a month.
You've been sick for a while. And
no, come on.
All right, let's see what else we got here. I'm going to start with the Grimy Goon stuff, beginning with Warriors. So like you said, it's all about these buffs. So you have like, here's a new weapon. Not, 4 mana cost for 2/3 weapon, not great.
Yeah, I don't love it.
But you have that give a random minion in your hand +1/+1 every time you attack. And hey, maybe you want to buff up this weapon. Oh, here you go. Grime Street Pawnbroker, give a random weapon in your hand +1/+1. You also have to keep in mind, like, this weapon with some of the bigger warrior weapons, or this minion rather, with some of the bigger warrior weapons, is just going to make them even scarier.
Yeah, sure. I could definitely fit this into the stupid pirate warrior deck it's still basically the only deck I play anytime I play Hearthstone now.
Yes, absolutely. Here's a good one. Here's a spell for warrior that's just discover a taunt minion. I just like the name. I know a guy. It's a good name for a spell.
Yeah, it's a good spell.
But let's say, they still want taunt warrior to be a thing. It hasn't really ever proven that it can work, but they're trying. And here's another way that they're trying. Another spell, Stolen Goods. It's going to give a random taunt minion in your hand +3/+3. +3/+3 buff for 2 is pretty good. Obviously, this is slow tempo because you're not actually getting it out on the board, right?
Right, that's the problem.
You're playing a spell for something later, but I think there's potential there. And then here is a taunt minion you'd really want to get buffed up. The Alley Armorsmith. It's a 2/7 taunt. Whenever this minion deals damage, gain that much armor.
So that could be
so much health.
That would be a 5-cost 5/10.
Yeah.
With that buff.
Yes.
And every time it attacks, it would give you 5 armor.
And then you throw in a couple of the other, Grimy Goons buffs, and theoretically, like, this could get real good. And just throwing something down with 7 health is always going to be real solid. And so the other nice thing about this is it's whenever this minion deals damage, not just when it attacks. So if an enemy attacks into it so as to remove it, you're also going to be getting armor from that.
Not just that, but you Mad Alchemist that.
Sure.
On the second turn that it's on the board, if it doesn't get attacked, that's 7 armor. And it's probably only going to survive a single hit, but that could
I've seen some people basically saying, like, at the absolute worst, this is probably going to get you, it's a 2/7 minion that you get on the board on turn 5, and it's probably going to get you at least 4 armor, which is good.
Yeah, sure.
That's not bad. Moving on to some of the hunter cards, here we have just the Death Rattle, give a random minion in your hand +2/+2.
Wow, that's
it's real solid.
3-cost 3/3. That's pretty.
Yeah, it's
pretty dope.
It's real nice. We've got the Dispatch Coda, which I like a lot. It's a 2/4 that's deal damage equal to this minion's attack. So of course, if you buffed it up,
with your hand and then you drop it. Yeah, all right.
Drop it and deal 5-6 damage right off the bat. It's pretty good.
That's really good. Yeah.
We've got Rat Pack. I love this card. It's a 2/2 for 3. Death Rattle, summon a number of 1/1 rats equal to this minion's attack. It's so good. It's so good. The art
on that card is also really great.
The art in general in this is just, they had fun. They had fun. But yeah, this is another one where just like the buffing works so well. It synergizes so well. I love that. This is just a goofy one that I don't think will probably get played. But summon a 1/1 piranha after you attack. It's just it's fun.
I don't get it.
You just summon in a piranha.
No, I get it. Like I can read.
That's a good looking gun too.
I guess so.
Here's another one that benefits from buffs. This is the Hunter Legendary Knuckles. After
Not
this,
the Echidna? What were they
not
doing?
the Echidna, no. After this attacks a minion, it also hits the enemy hero. So again, you've got like a 3/7. Similar attacks, similar stats rather to the Alley Armorsmith, but again, if you get this buffed up a bit, it's suddenly very, very good. Also, it's a beast, and some of the Hunter.
I could see this fitting into like a Hunter Rush deck pretty
Yeah.
easily because you buff it even a little bit, and all of a sudden, like you can not only rush the enemy but also like work to take back some board control.
And
That's hot. That's a hot card.
some of the Hunter stuff that I didn't show in here is sort of based around buffing beasts in your hand specifically, not just minions.
That old chestnut.
Yeah, so it'll help out there. Here's great little Paladin card. Look at this art. So good.
Yeah, it's really good. There's so many motorcycle-based cards that I'm really into.
So yeah, this is just give all minions in your hand +1/+1. We've got the Grime Street Outfitter, which is a similar give all minions in your hand +1/+1.
Wait, how is that different from the last one?
So this is a spell for
sorry,
one cost.
yeah.
And this is a minion. It's a 1/1 minion for 2, which obviously isn't great, but
No.
you're buffing up everything. Here's the Paladin Murloc Dream is alive. You've got a one cost Murloc here that gives a random Murloc in your hand +1/+1.
Oh man.
You remember how much you like Paladin Secrets?
No.
When a friendly minion dies, return it to your hand. This is so good. It's so good. I really like this secret a lot. Here's just a strong ass minion. It's a 6/6 taunt for 7, which isn't great stats, but the battle cry is give adjacent minions Divine Shield. So if you pop this down next to even just one minion, that's so
I mean,
huge.
you pop that down between 2 minions on turn 7.
Yeah.
And then you use the 2 divine. You pop the 2 divine shields, canceling trades for like huge stuff on the other side. Like this card
big.
is sick.
It's really good. Yeah, I think this could be awesome. And then this is the Paladin Legendary, which is a really interesting one. Wicker Flame Burn Bristle. He's got Divine Shield and Taunt. Damage dealt by this minion also heals your hero. So yet again, another Grimy Goon type minion where the more you've buffed it up, the more that you're going to get out of it. But you've got that Divine Shield. So again, at the very least, they're going to have to get through that shield. They're going to have to hit it twice. So you're going to get healed for 4.
For 4, yeah.
But the fun thing about this one, the thing I think I really like about this one is it's a 3 cost, but this is absolutely the kind of 3 cost that you want to hold it in your hand and play it late in the game.
After it's been buffed up to
exactly
crazy town. Sure.
I think it could be real cool until we devolve it. Here's the Grime Street Informant. So this is one of the coolest things about the tri-class cards is each of them has a card like this where it is a discover a Hunter, Paladin, or Warrior card. So it's discover and then the 3 classes. And the way that this works is you actually get one of each. You get a choice of one of each.
Okay.
So you're always gonna have a Hunter card, a Paladin card, and a Warrior card. And what this means,
any class can use this card.
yes, that's the thing. Is what that means is you're playing. No, not any class. I apologize. This is a tri-class card, so it is a Hunter, Paladin,
It's only
or
a
Warrior
Hunter,
have to
Paladin,
use
or
this.
Warrior card.
Yeah.
Okay.
But what that means is that as Hunter, you can suddenly get a Paladin card. As Warrior, you can suddenly get a Hunter card. It kind of opens up these things that have never existed of like, oh, what if you're a Warrior who gets some Hunter secrets?
I could see it being like a fun twist, but I also feel like this is going to be one of those mechanics where like kind of like how when Old Gods came out, like the old ways of playing Hearthstone, like those tried and true combos and ways of playing Hearthstone, like were still the most popular.
Yeah, absolutely.
Strategy.
And because it's randomized, you can't.
Yeah.
You're never going to be able to depend on it. It is going to lead to some stupid things. It is going to lead to some great videos of like.
Yeah, sure.
Somebody, some warrior pulling out a Paladin card they don't have normally and winning the game with it. It'll lead to awesome moments. It's definitely not like competitive great.
Yeah,
for sure. Here is the Don Honcho, who's the leader of the Grimy Goons Legendary. And he is a 7-cost 5/6. Gives a random minion in your hand +5/+5.
Yeah, that's good.
Such a big boost. Obviously at 7 costs though, it's pretty hefty.
Yeah.
That late in the game, you might not even have many minions in your hand, so it's we'll see whether this actually gets any play.
Yeah, that's a good point. By the time you've hit turn 7, you're probably pretty low on minion cards.
Yeah.
Unless you have a dope 8-drop that thing's going to make crazy.
Moving on to the Warlock cards, we've got this is the Cabal, who are Mage, Priest, and Warlock. Over on the Warlock side, we've got the Sea Devil Stinger, which is a Murloc battle cry. The next Murloc you play this turn costs health instead of mana.
Okay.
It's kind of an interesting twist. I like that. Just Fellfire Potion, 6 costs, deal 5 damage to all characters. Just because, like, the one thing Warlock clearly needed was more AoE.
Yeah, no kidding.
So that's pretty bonkers. Here's a new secret that mages get. Potion of Polymorph. After your opponent plays a minion, transform it into 1/1 sheep. Pretty good.
Yeah.
It's pretty good. I like that a lot. The Cabal Crystal Runner is a 6-cost 5/5 that costs 2 less for each secret you've played this game. Which
oh my god.
I'm
do
really
Frost Mages really need more?
Yeah, they do.
Okay.
This is a strong card, and also real good art again. Lots of good art.
Yeah.
I like this one a lot. The Manic Soulcaster. Choose a friendly minion, shuffle a copy into your deck. This is just such a good, like, just give you something that you want to play again later. Here's your Reno. I want to play Reno Jackson again, or whatever the case may be. Maybe it's not Reno. Maybe it's Inkmaster Solia, who's the new mage legendary. If your deck has no duplicates, the next spell you cast this turn costs 0.
Oh my god.
Here's your 0-cost Pyroblast to the face.
Pyroblast, yeah.
I like that they're putting in more cards that are based around that idea of, like, if your deck has no duplicates. I think that's cool.
I like and hate that. Like, I love and also hate Reno, because, like,
sure,
it's kind of fun playing against a Reno deck and trying to guess, like, is this a Reno deck?
Yep.
He hasn't played 2 of the same. Is this a Reno deck? But then when you realize, like, oh, it's going to be a Reno deck, there's almost nothing you can do about it. You kind of just have to sit there and let the Reno happen to you.
The interesting part is, like, Reno will be rotating out next year out of Standard.
Oh yeah, good point.
But so these cards are kind of replacing that in a way of, like, there's still hopefully going to be some decks that do that no duplicates thing, just with different effects than Reno. We'll see. So Priest has always been bad, right? And it turns out that this expansion, Blizzard kind of looked at it and were like, what if we made Priest really good? So they've got some crazy stuff, starting with Potion of Madness. This is just a 1-cost spell, gain control of an enemy minion with 2 or less attack until end of turn.
That is a good ass card.
It's like a slightly worse version of Shadow Madness, or slightly lower cost and lower. Yeah. It's 2 or less attack instead of 3 or less, but it's good. It's a good card.
The first 4 rounds, if you have that card, that could be huge. Like that's going to help you trade out enemies with other enemies. Like, that's crazy good.
It's really good. Cabal Talon Priest, it's a 3-cost 3/4, which is just good stats, and also give a friendly minion +3 health as a battle cry. So previously, there was a card in Nex Rammus, I think it was, that was same cost, same stats, but it had a death rattle of give a friendly minion +3 health. Didn't get a ton of play, I think, because it was death rattle. With battle cry, I think this will probably see a lot more play.
You drop that on a light spawn, and that's
absolutely.
Yeah.
Pint-sized potion. Give all enemy minions -3 attack this turn only. This is gonna, like, your trades can be so much better with this thing.
No kidding.
And the fact that it's all enemy minions, it's a 1-cost spell, all enemy minions, is like,
you play that, and all of a sudden you can steal minions with the other potion that you otherwise would be 2.
Yes.
Oh my god.
It's good, right? It's really good.
I'm getting excited about Priest.
Right? Here's a really good... I love this one. Draconid Operative. Dragon Priest has been one of the few competitive Priest decks, and they're kind of building on that. Battlecry, if you're holding a dragon, discover a card in your opponent's deck. What I love about this, Priest has had all these abilities that steal cards from your opponent's hand or steal cards from their deck, but it's always stealing at random. So you never know. Like, you never know, are you going to get, some warrior card that you can't use at all?
Yeah.
This ensures, because you're discovering a card, you're getting a choice of 3 of them. So it ensures that you can pick the one that's actually going to help you the most.
Yeah.
And then on top of that, 5 cost 5/6 it's good stats. I really, really like this card a lot. This is also awesome. Priest has not had a good 2-drop. Mana Geode is whenever this minion is healed, summon a 2/2 crystal.
Oh man, that's gonna be an annoying card to clear.
It's the kind of card that you played on 2, and like, even if you don't ever get a 2/2 crystal out of it, it forces your opponent to, like, they've got to answer this right away.
And this will protect Northshire Cleric for like an extra turn.
Yes, absolutely. You play Northshire Cleric on 1 and then this on 2. How annoying is that? You've got to clear both of them.
God.
Look at this. Dragonfire Potion, 6 cost.
Oh my God.
Deal 5 damage to all minions.
Dragon Priest.
Dragon Priest is going to be good. Like, this is bonkers good for Dragon Priest. It's so, so good. Dragon Priest is already a lot of fun, even though it's not, like, you can't. I have trouble taking it too far up the ranked ladder, let's say.
Yeah.
But I think with stuff like this, it's going to make it much, much better. And then here is the crazy Priest Legendary, Raza the Chained. Battlecry, if your deck has no duplicates, your hero power costs 0 this game.
The whole game, even if this card gets knocked out?
The whole game. From this moment forward, from the moment that you play Raza the Chained, 0 cost hero power.
That kicks ass.
It's so good. It is so, so good. There's some other spells or some other cards it can be comboed with, but this is just awesome. Yeah, it's really, really good.
I'm blown away, man.
Here's the Cabal Courier, which is just the Discover Mage, Priest, or Warlock card. And now here is the Cabal Legendary, which I love, Kazakus. Battlecry, if your deck contains no duplicates, create a custom spell.
Okay, so they showed this off during the the announcement stream. Do you want to explain how this works? Because it's kind of wild.
Yeah, so they haven't showed all of the combinations yet, but the way it works is, so first off, you get a discover of 3 things. You get to choose, do you want a 1-cost spell, a 5-cost spell, or a 10-cost spell? And that's going to determine the strength of the next things that you're offered. And
My
also,
guess
of course,
is, like,
the cost of the spell.
If this is a 4-drop,
yeah,
you'll probably want a 5-cost spell, unless, like, it's so good because, like, it sets you up. Like, if you have a good 5-drop, you can be like, all right, I'll save that nuke for turn 10.
Yeah. So yeah, you do that, and then for the next discover, you get 3 choices of, like, certain spell attributes. You do that once, and then you do it a second time. There are 9 possible spell effects, but you're going to be choosing 2 out of 2 sets of 3. Does that make sense? So you're not going to see all the possible spell effects each time you create a spell. But essentially, you're going to create this custom spell that's super powerful and gives you 2 effects. Whether it costs 1, 5, or 10, it's going to give you 2 effects.
It's so fun, man.
It's so cool. It's so weird. And so I think they told me, I want to say it was like a total of 120 some combinations.
That's crazy. Like, so on the stream, the effects they revealed for these 10-cost cards were summon 3 friendly minions that died this game, gain 10 armor, gain 10 armor, transform all minions into 1/1 sheep. That was the first selection of 3. And the next selection of 3 was copy 3 cards from your opponent's deck and put them into your hand. Deal 6 damage to all minions and draw 3 cards. So you could do a Mystic Wool, which is transform all minions into 1/1 sheep, and then deal 6 damage to all minions. It would be stupid, but it would wipe the board.
It would wipe the board. This is such a cool card. It's going to lead to some cool stuff. I'm definitely interested to see how this goes. All right, moving on to the Jade Lotus here. So this is Druid, Rogue, and Shaman stuff. So we've got Jade Blossom, summon a Jade Golem, gain an empty mana crystal. Griffin, you were wondering what is a Jade Golem. I can tell you what that is. Do you want to know?
Yeah.
So the way Jade Golem works, there are a bunch of cards with the Jade Lotus that summon Jade Golems. Every time you summon a Jade Golem, it will be bigger than the one you've previously summoned. So the first time you summon one in a game, it'll be a 1/1. The second time, it will be a 2/2. The third time, it will be a 3/3. And so on and so forth.
I see a pattern developing here.
For as many times as you summon them.
Okay, interesting. So this is a whole new archetype then.
Yeah,
it's a whole new like.
It's like a weird like token, but with ramping token. I don't know. I don't even know what you would call it. It's a whole new archetype, like you said.
But I mean, it sounds.
It's cool.
Kind of too good to be true because like if you're playing these cards that have other effects, and again, this is a 3 cost, so unless this is like the third Jade Golem that you've summoned, I guess it's not. Ah, man, I don't know. It seems like you're ramping up, right? Like you're following curve perfectly as long as you play as many Jade Golems as you can.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it's hard right now because they haven't revealed a ton of the Druid, Rogue, and Shaman cards. That's like the last, like I said, the Jade Lotus is the last thing they're revealing. So we don't know how many of these Jade Golem effects there are and how awesome they get. But there are some good ones that we'll see. I think this is a pretty good one. I think in a ramp Druid, like, this is already something you would play. Like, gain an empty mana crystal and summon a minion. Sure.
Yeah, that's great.
So I think this is the kind of thing that we'll see play. Here's another kind of crazy one. Gain an empty mana crystal for each friendly minion. If you're really looking to ramp, this is...
Wait, what?
Yeah.
Permanent?
Yes. I mean, if you like, it's... The situations in which you can do it are rare, but if you can somehow get, like, 3 or 4 things out on the board before you get to turn 3, and then you play this... And suddenly, like, you're so far ahead of your opponent in terms of how much mana you have.
This card, I don't understand how this card is not going to be, like, wildly overpowered.
I think the way it is because it's hard. It's hard to get enough things out on the board and have them stick in time to use this card.
I guess so, but Wild Growth is a 2 cost, and it only gives you 1 mana crystal.
Yes.
And this could give you this is 1 more mana, and it can give you so many mana crystals.
It can give you up to 7.
I get what you're saying, but like I get what you're saying, but like it seems like it's going to be so easy to put a deck together that exploits this.
I'm really excited to see people do that, to be honest.
Okay.
Here's another interesting one: Lunar Visions. Draw 2 cards. Minions drawn cost 2 less.
I never liked these guys. I get the tactical like advantage of them, but I don't like the cards where it's like draw 2 cards. If it draws this type of card, then it's good. Because if I don't draw that type of card, I have it was a 5 cost draw 2 cards. Like,
and I think it's especially tough in Druid because Druid has so many good spells.
It has so many good spells with multiple effects, some of which summon really good minions.
Exactly. So it's hard to say like, oh, well, I'll just make a Druid deck that's almost all minions because you probably won't. You're not going to make a Druid deck without Swipe or without Wild Growth, probably.
Yeah, sure.
So, yeah. Here's a really cool one. Kun the Forgotten King, 10 cost Druid. You get to choose one, either gain 10 armor, which is awesome, or refresh your mana crystals.
What?
So you just got that 7/7 for free. I had a long talk about this at BlizzCon because this is one of the first cards they revealed. I thought it was super OP. The Hearthstone people who I talked to and some of the people I talked with online kind of talked me back from the cliff a little. They were like, it's less super overpowered than it thinks.
I mean,
and like you're probably actually going to want to take the 10 armor more often.
Yeah, because like the mana crystals, how many times... I can't think of too many times where I've gotten to turn 10 and been like, ooh, I have so many options. Like usually it's like if I'm lucky, I have the big nuke that I've been saving up for, or I can sort of scrap together a play out of using a few cards. But at that point, I'm probably like bone dry.
Yeah.
And it's not like I can't see too many situations where I play this. I have this on turn 10, and then I immediately get on my crystals back, and I'm like, okay, now to play all the other great options I had. Like you have to build for this perfectly, and then also get the draws that you need. But still, man, God, That's really fresh. Even the 10 armor is really good.
It's good. I mean, like, honestly, that's the thing is, like, initially when I saw this, I was just like, the refresher mana crystals is such a, like, stunning thing to look at that you're like, oh, that's overpowered. But the more that I thought about it, I'm like, no, actually, a 10 cost 7/7 plus 10 armor, that's the overpowered part. Like, that's the part that I think I'd want to take more often.
And we're thinking about it like either or, when really, like, the advantage of this card is the advantage of all of the Druid choice cards in that it's both things. Like, it is whichever one you need. If you are on turn 10 and you've gotten good with card draws, you can play this thing and then play some gnarly spells right after it to clean out their board.
Yeah. Or you have that Druid legendary that is that allows your choose ones to get both.
Oh my god.
And then you just get 10 armor and get all of your mana crystals back.
Wow, man.
All right, so then we've got some rogue stuff here. Counterfeit coin. This is just a simple one, but I like it because it's just like a. I don't know how much it'll get played, but it's such a good like combo druids. I feel like we'll find a place for it.
It is so good. It pops off combo. Like, yeah.
It's just it's such a simple but totally fitting with the rogue class. Like, of course, rogue should have this.
So when I was playing Hearthstone, like really playing it, like the deck I played the most of, even more than any other deck I've ever played, even as long as I've been playing Hearthstone, was a like tempo rogue deck. Sure. And this would have been my shit, dude. Yeah. This is fun.
And then we've got the rogue legendary Shaku the Collector. He's a stealth 2/3. Whenever this attacks, add a random card to your hand from your opponent's class. One of the less interesting ones, but they seem to still be wanting to push that rogue idea of like they steal abilities from the opponent's class. But that,
and I mean, it gets you. You think about it like card draw.
It gets you cards. Good. It gets you cards.
Unless they have an AOE,
it's going to get you at least one.
Yeah, unless they AOE it, which is not on round 4 not impossible.
Sure. Here's the only other shaman spell that's been revealed so far: deal 4 damage and summon a Jade Golem. That's strong.
I'm really now that you've explained it, I'm so curious about the Jade Golem. I think that could be a really, really fun archetype to play.
Shaman having another way to like just deal direct damage is
also really good.
It's pretty good. So dealing that much damage plus summoning, you throw in a spell power totem and that's pretty rad. And here is the Jade Lotus legendary Aya Blackpaw. 6 cost 5/3, not great stats, but you've got the Battle Cry summon a Jade Golem and Death Rattle summon a Jade Golem. So you're gonna get, in theory, assuming that Aya doesn't get like silenced or something, you're going to get 2 Jade Golems out of playing this one minion.
I like it.
So if you're making, again, like, we're going to have to see how many of these Jade Golem cards there are. We're going to have to see if it's viable to make a deck that's just based around summoning Jade Golems.
What we've seen so far, unless there is a lot more, I don't think it's going to be viable. But, like...
There's a lot more to be revealed for Druid, Rogue, and Shaman. Like, those are the classes that have the most cards yet to be revealed. So it's possible, but... If it is viable, Aya will be in that deck, I think.
I'm surprised there aren't more cards that like do other things with the Jade Golems, like add +1/+1 to all of your Jade Golems on the or something.
Maybe
like
there
that,
will be. Maybe there will be. All right, so moving on to a couple of the interesting neutral cards. Here we have Madame Goya. I just think this is choose a friendly minion, swap it with a minion in your deck.
Do you get to choose?
No, you do not choose you choose the friendly minion. You don't choose who you're swapping it with.
Okay.
It's just going to lead to like dumb stuff. I don't think it's like an Alarma bot situation, right? Where like I don't think this is good. I don't think there's going to be any serious decks that come out of this, but it's going to lead to some dumb plays. Finja the Flying Star, new Murloc Ninja, stealth. Whenever this attacks and kills a minion, summon 2 Murlocs from your deck.
Bravo, Blizzard. Well done.
I think that this would be complete trash, except for the fact that it fits so well in Grimy Goons stuff.
No, I mean, no.
And like Murloc Paladin, Grimy Goons.
It's trash, but I want it. I want it so badly.
It's your kind of trash.
Yes.
Here we have Auction Master Beardo. After you cast a spell, refresh your hero power.
That is the best card art of the expansion.
It's so good. It's so good. And think about this. Think about Auction Master Beardo after you've played that priest legendary that makes your hero power 0 cost.
That's pretty rough, yeah.
And suddenly you can just use your hero power over and over. What if you've made your priest power 0 cost and it's also you've done like the shadow priest switch over so that you're dealing damage.
Man.
Suddenly every time you cast a spell, you are also dealing damage.
That's a whole lot of if, but it's fun.
It's a whole lot of if, but like I feel like there's a deck type that could be created. I don't know how competitive it is, but I like. How about
idea. Like mad totems? How about like crazy mad totem? What was that build that you used for the shitty shaman deck that everybody hated? That's all about putting up that dude that buffs the totems.
You're right.
I mean, it's good for any deck except maybe rogue. Like I don't know why you would need to keep summoning knives.
Like maybe there's some inspire stuff you could do while that mechanic is still around.
Yeah, sure.
There's a couple of these hogs, but I just wanted to throw in one because I know they're of importance to you personally.
Yeah.
The leather-clad hog leader, battle cry. If your opponent has 6 or more cards in hand, gain charge. Basically, there's a bunch of these hogs that they gain charge based off of whether or not. Based off of stuff your opponent has done. So one of them is like if your opponent has taunt, gain charge. One of them is if your opponent has no cards in its hand, gain charge.
If you're playing if you're playing a frost mage, use this one.
Probably.
If you're playing a rush deck, play this one.
Yeah. I like this one just because of the art. Another good art. This is the wind up Burglebot. Whenever this attacks a minion and survives, draw a card. 6 cost 5/5 is pretty.
Yeah, you play this on turn 6. It's not going to attack until turn 7, and by that time, because it has to attack. It's not just deal damage. It has to attack. So it's not enough that their minions attack him.
But card draw is always good. I don't know.
I guess I just don't think this one's going to get you.
I don't think it's gonna. It's probably not. But look at that art. This one's just like a fascinating. I love how much they're experimenting with stuff. I love how weird some of this is. So you've got the bomb squad. It's a 5 cost 2/2. With the battle cry of deal 5 damage to an enemy minion, the death rattle deals 5 damage to your hero. Here's what I'm throwing out there. Here's what I'm suggesting. Purify, the priest card that everybody hated. This is the way to make Purify good.
Is it though?
I'm just saying.
You're that's so many things to do to then get a 5 cost 5 damage. Up front 2/2 minion that doesn't then hurt you. I get what you're saying. It nullifies the penalty
you just
of it.
Immediately deal 5 damage to the enemy minion. That's pretty powerful.
Yeah, I guess so. But you have to have the purify. You also have to spend the mana to play the purify.
You're right. Purify still sucks.
It sucks, and this card sucks.
That's it. That's all I have. So this is it.
Phil, you got me excited about Hearthstone again. I literally haven't been paying attention except for the announcement that the stream that they did at BlizzCon. And some of this stuff looks so fun. The priest cards look great. All the Jade Totem stuff looks great. Devolve looks great.
It looks so good. Oh, I'm really excited about it. Yeah, I think this expansion is shaping up to be pretty cool. I'm gonna be honest. I'm excited that they're back to the goofy stuff after Whispers of the Old Gods was a little bit spooky for me. I got a little creeped out.
Me too.
I got a little spooked. But yeah, I love the style of this. I love how goofy it is. I love the card art, and I love that they're doing a lot of weird stuff. It seems like with this expansion, they're really going all out with let's experiment. Let's do these tri-class cards. There are so many cards that all have text on them in this expansion. There's so few cards without text. And I kind of appreciate that. I think Hearthstone's at a point in its lifespan where they can deal with getting a little more complicated and throwing out stuff that really messes with the rules.
Once they cycle out more stuff for the new season next year.
Yes.
Oh,
yeah.
Man.
So this is Mean Streets of Gadgetzan. Griffin will be out, but I will be back, whenever they launch. I think they've only said early December right now. I'll be here with somebody from Polygon probably.
I'm sorry I won't be there, but I'm launching a new person in early December. So
I guess we can forgive you for that. Well, what are the stats?
It's a 0 cost.
Ooh.
I don't know the stats.
Okay.
That's
good.
Fine. It's good though.
It's a 0 cost good.
Yeah.
Card type good. But yeah, we'll be back with Mean Streets of Gadgetzan when that launches. We will try to we'll open a bunch of packs, which we'll make videos of for you, and also we'll try to like make some goofy decks. In particular, I got to make a devolve deck that works.
Yes, absolutely.
Absolutely. Maybe we can do like an evolve and devolve kind of combo
Yeah,
thing.
I mean, that's going to be... I can't wait for the first Shaman v Shaman battle where you play evolve and then your opponent plays devolve next turn.
It's going to be fun. Thanks for watching, everybody.